Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to MotoGP 18, and welcome to Argentina. So as you can see, we won our first race. So let's get into the replay. Here we go. So I can tell you, well, I'll tell you a couple things. This is round two. At the end of round one, well, at the beginning of round one, I saw the development programs, and I guess those were there in the first series that we did, the Red Bull rookies, or the underclass that we were in for our first two seasons. I guess those development days were there as well, and it's the same as the practice programs in any of the Codemaster Formula One games. And it's to familiarize you with the track, braking zones, speed traps, ideal line, trajectory, that sort of stuff. I guess they were there in the Red Bull rookies, and I just didn't take advantage of them, and I'm kind of kicking myself now, and I'm looking forward to MotoGP 19 because I'll be able to, I mean, I could start again now in Red Bull rookies, but essentially you do the development programs and it lets you upgrade the bike. So I did that in round one. We upgraded the bike, and then of course they kick in, those upgrades kick in for the following round. Okay, so I did the development programs again, and I'll be able to make more improvements for round three, but I did the development programs. I swear, I did not potato the AI. I am getting a little bit better handling the bike, but those upgrades, I feel like, really made a difference. We were best in practice, and we put it on the pole, to the point where I'm going to have to bump the AI up. So I qualified in pole position. Qualifying and warm-up were dry, and then it rained, and the race it's a wet track, but it's not raining. But man, so much more fun when you can, and you can see I'm still sort of, it's not ideal. It's not ideal line every time, but it's so much easier to control the bike, and I'm doing a lot more setup as well. And so what I'm doing is going out and doing 10 or 12 laps in free practice, and then going into, there's an auto setting. Because I can tune a virtual race car. Race bike? No way. No way. I need the engineer for that. So, put in the problems that I was having, which was essentially precision in turns. On entry, the bike was kind of flopping around, I felt. So put that in, it gives you the changes, and then you can either apply them automatically. You can apply them manually, just sort of write them down and then go put them in yourself, or you can decline them. So that was one, and then the other was straight line speed. And you can either, it's gearing, so you can either go acceleration or you can go top end. And I felt like acceleration was where I wanted to be at. You saw I got dropped on the start in round one. So put it on the pole, got passed by a few riders going into turn one, but I got those back, and I essentially stay 1 second in front of the train for the entire race, and I was super pleased about that because I felt like, if I was OP, I would have pulled away like 1 second per lap. It was a 10-lap race. I feel like I would have, continued to pull ahead, but I didn't. The train kind of hung back there, and I will bump the AI up probably 5 points for the next race. And I do, I want to say lap 6, lap 7, I do get passed by Aaron Canet. And then I dice with him for a couple laps and eventually get the lead back. So this game is so much more fun when you don't suck at it. And I know that's one of those things like, well, duh. Yeah, yes and no. It's regardless of what the AI is doing, like when you're in free practice, there is no AI. It's just you. And if you suck in free practice, that's got nothing to do with the AI. That's just you needing to get better at the game. So I feel like I did. I feel like it's easier to control the bike. But I've also made those improvements, made those upgrades. So I want to be aware of that. My times drop off a little bit, and I started thinking, oh, well, must be tires going away, which would be maybe not 100% realistic that you'd have tires go away that fast on a wet track. But it's a wet track. It's not raining, so I don't know. Maybe the tires cook off when. There he goes. There he goes. Maybe the tires cook off when there's only a film of water on the track. Let me get back here because we're chasing somebody now. Camera is going to be this one. This one. I got back around while I was messing around with the buttons, so I was looking below and didn't see me. But he does come at me again, and then we have to get him back. But yeah, there's no AI when you're in free practice, and I was struggling. So I feel like a combination of just playing the game hours and hours, and also upgrading the bike, makes it so much more fun and so much easier to put in a lap that you can feel like is you know what I mean? It's like a real lap. It's like a meaningful lap. It's not just flailing around. I'm still on the fence about graphics. I know this game is running on Unreal, and it's got True Sky, they call it. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad, but I just feel like in 2018, our expectations higher than this. This view isn't bad, and the on-bike view isn't bad, but I feel like the TV view, it just looks like the bikes are floating. But so it goes. Maybe they'll fix it in a patch. So yeah, I'm stoked for the rest of the season. I know when I saw that development thing, and I feel like I did spot that and do a couple of those programs, like when I was in sort of learning mode, you know, pre-career mode, and then I just spaced it and stopped doing them. But now I'm kicking myself, and I really wish I would have been doing those during the Red Bull Rookies, because I feel like now all these games let you adjust the AI mid-season, which is awesome, and I feel like maybe as you upgrade the bike, you upgrade the AI, at least up until I'm in Moto 3 now. I think by the time I'm in Moto 2 or MotoGP, what I'll want to do is set the AI pre-season and then just roll with it. Whatever it is, however good it is, I'll just roll with it. And with that as a goal, I guess, I would probably set it harder rather than easier, and as we improve the bike and learn the bike, then we can level up to it. So we'll see. But this is super great because I was not quite at the dismissal level. There's a favor meter, a reputation meter for your team between promotion and dismissal, and I was down toward the dismissal side. I wasn't at dismissal, but I was close. And like always, I do apologize that there's no way. I've tried every way that I can think of, and there's no way that I can get lap information on screen during the replay. If you know of a way, please let me know, because this would be so much more interesting if you knew like what was going on. I can tell you this is like lap 6, lap 7, and I'm in first place. Oh, and I was saying earlier about the tires. I do feel like my lap times were slipping, and then I want to say lap 6 or lap 7, Canet passes me, and I'm chasing him, and I get him back on lap 9. Spoiler alert. I get him back on lap 9, and then that's my fast lap, and then that's also the fast lap of the race. And I think, well, if I can turn fast lap on lap 9, then my tires are not going away. Either that, or I just became totally like mental trying to get the guy. But I don't know. There's supposed to be a tire meter. I can't find it. I think maybe it only shows up in maybe Moto 2 and MotoGP. I mean, it definitely would have to be MotoGP, because if it doesn't show up there, then it's busted. Maybe it's in Moto 2, maybe it's not, but it's not in Moto 3 that I can find. Although I do run a minimal HUD, so maybe I'm just missing a setting or something. Yeah, it's so much more fun this way to not suck. But you knew that. And there's still ways to go. I'm not a legend by any means. This is the first race I've ever won. But it's nice to It's nice to win a race, even a fake race. It's nice to be on the podium. And that was, it was one of those things where, you know, when I put it on pole, I was like, okay. And I put it on pole dry, not wet. And then as we were racing, when not everybody, maybe 4 or 5 riders passed me going into turn 1, I thought, oh, okay, so I just got lucky on pole, and now we're actually going to have a race. But then I kind of pulled away from them as well. I was hoping for top 10, and then when I was on pole, I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe I can hang on to podium. But to get first, I mean, to go from like whatever we got last week, 21st or something, to go from 21st to first that's not legit. So I'll bump the AI and try to keep it, you know, fair and whatever, fair. I also was a little, I don't know what word to use, perplexed maybe, because Kane does pass me on that long straight out of turn 4, I believe. And they had never been able to do that before. So it's one of those things like that. To me, that always makes me wonder about rubber banding, right? Because it's like, how was I always able to hang with you on this straight before, and then this time you can pass me on a straight when you've never been able to? Like, did you find another gear or something? So feels a little, not dicey, but whatever. I also, after the race, but before the replay, I was getting like, 2,000 points, 2,500 points for finishing way, way, way down in the pack. For first, I got like 38,000 points. So I think this is going to bump me up several levels. I mean, that's a lot of XP. And I'm also curious what that's going to do to my bike development and bike handling skills. So it could be, and if this is the case, I'm an idiot. But it could be that all I needed to do in Red Bull Rookies was develop the bike, do the development tests, build the bike up, and I could have been finishing better all through Red Bull Rookies, getting those 30,000 point weekends, and leveling my character up and my bike handling skills up much faster. So it could be that I actually started the game wrong and made it harder for myself, and that's why I was flailing around. But whatever, you live and learn, yo. And who reads manuals anymore? Like, I don't know anybody that reads manuals for a video game. You just jump in and start having fun and do your thing. Oh, there he goes. Hey, Kane. Hey, buddy. So this is, I switched to chase cam a couple laps too early, but we do get to race a little bit, which is nice. It's fun to win, but I prefer racing. I'd rather have a good, tight, scary race and finish on the podium than to just pull ahead and never really have anything going on with the rest of the pack. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I'd rather dice than, because if you just pull away and school the pack, then something's wrong. Either it's a bogey track for the AI, or the AI is not set well enough, like high enough. You know what I mean. But this is fun to me, like chasing this guy, and I don't wreck anymore. I do not wreck, and that is awesome, because in the Red Bull Rookies, it would take me sometimes 3 and 4 restarts to be able to finish a race without wrecking over and over and over. But I can make it through a whole race now. I don't want to say it's easy, but I can make it through a race consistently enough now that if I do crash in a race, we're going to call that a legit crash and keep that race, because that'll be on me then. Like, if I'm crashing 10 times a race, I can comfortably say I'm still learning the game. But if I can do this, then it's like I have learned the game, and if I crash, it's because I screwed up and not because I'm learning. Yeah, I think that makes sense. So we'll get a bunch of points and level up our riding skills. The bike is leveling up, and we'll see how we do next week. And the other cool thing is, I don't even know these tracks. I don't follow MotoGP or any of the levels of motorcycle racing well enough to know the circuit. So This is going to be cool to learn all these tracks. Fortunately, this game just came out, so I don't think MotoGP 19 is going to be out for almost a year, so we won't need to. Like what I did with F1 2017, I just found it. I know it's been out. I just wasn't into. I was into sports car sims and not F1 sims. So I just found F1 2017, and the new one's coming out in like 3 weeks. So I wouldn't say it was $60 wasted, you know, because now, side topic here. I see this all the time too. Apparently people keep all their games, and I know with Steam, it's a little different because like you can uninstall it, but you still own it, you still have it, and if you bought the DLC, you still have that. So you don't need to like keep all your games on your hard drive. If you get sick of one, you can just uninstall it. But I also know people are getting into like the laptop that I have built. That it's sitting in a cart. I just need to hit the buy button. But it's got 2 terabyte SSD drives. And I think, man, if you've got 2 1 terabyte drives, you can probably load all your games at once. Like you can go on Steam and just hit install everything, all your games, all your DLC, everything, and you're good to go. For me, my hard drives are a little smaller right now, so if I try a game and I'm not into it, I'll uninstall it. Or if there's a game that I'm just not playing very much, I'll uninstall it. So, like when F1 2018 comes out, I will uninstall F1 2017, but I'll still own it. And when I see people that have like the past 10 years of Codemaster F1, and they're like, you know, sometimes I play 2014 because I like the circuit that year, right? Like I like the calendar that year. I like the cars that year. I like the sound that year, or whatever. You know, however they break it down. But they're like, yeah, that game, even though the graphics and the physics may not be as tight as the current year, that game plays better. You know, and that's Age of Empires syndrome. Age of Empires is like, what, 20 years old, 25 years old? But you can still get together with your bros, you know, and play Age of Empires and have a fantastic time, even though it's a clunky, cheesy, old, like, tabletop game. You can still love it. So I feel like there are some games where it's just, whatever, lightning in a bottle. They just nail it, and those games never get old, even though other games come after them. So I guess I don't have to keep F1 2017 because I own it on Steam now. But it'll be interesting to compare and see if 2018 is one of those games that's like instantly better, or if people are going to see F1 2018, if I'm going to see F1 2018 and be like, you know what, 17 was better. So we've got a few weeks before we have to make that call on the Formula One side, and we've got a year before we have to make that call on the MotoGP side. But as of right now, I'm loving this game, and not sucking at it really makes it easier to love. So this is lap 10, because we got Canet back on lap 9. That was fast lap of the race, and then we'll finish up here, and yeah, good times, man. Let's go a little TV coverage for the end of the race. Is this TV? I think there's 2 TV. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, does that look a little, you know, I feel like that could be better. That angle. The others look good. I'll skate the back end around a little bit there. Very cool. Very cool. That's it. We got this little complex here, and then this is kind of a crazy track because the start-finish line is right at the very, very beginning of the front straight. Like as soon as you come out of the last turn, it's right there. Bam. Okay, I don't know what that little move was. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for... I want to get out of here without losing my progress. There it is. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of MotoGP from Argentina. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.